intelligence. They're making noise. And yes, they'll be making noise in absolutes. They'll be generalizing. Yes, it's going to come off like they're saying everyone is doing it. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author. Those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical with them, like beyond your life. See, we're talking about this lady's music right now. Why are we talking about her music? Let me play the music for you really quickly for those of you that just came in, because that music makes people feel a certain type of way. What's going on, Mr. Rocker? Prenup first, absolutely. Yeah, women don't have time, but she's running a platform. Okay, so she's trying to be, she's trying to do the right thing. But ultimately, there's a bottom line. Gentlemen, there's a bottom line, right? Everything comes down to bottom line. Why is it that we're celebrating this? I'm going to play it again, just again, to honor these 2 people we're talking about today, right? So why are we talking about this song today, even after this woman had left? She said, Ekweme, what you say. Let me see if I can get the Igbo language. Is not my language, actually. I'm from a different tribe. But let me look at the translation. But this is an extremely popular gospel song over the past 3 years. 3 to 5 years, but potentially, right? Why is it that we are talking about this song today? Because of the way it makes people feel. Okay? That's why. See, the impact you leave on people, how you make people feel, stays with them long after you're long gone physically. And this is what I'm saying right now. You have to pay attention to that. Long after you're gone, the impact you leave on people. Ekweme means what you say is what you do. It's basically a worship song. For those of you that may not be connected to that song, right? So this guy, let me reference back to what I'm saying. When you are dismissive, especially with women, especially with your wife. See, I preach to gentlemen. I say, hey, avoid argument with women. You don't win. You can't win that game. See, naturally, you're not supposed to be feminine. So try to play the feminine game with a woman, you will lose within this social construct. You can't win that game. That's why I say that. Now, what's the other reason why I say that? Because I know naturally you find yourself in that situation sometimes. That's just natural when you live with a person. Sometimes it happens, right? So now, how you avoid argument becomes the next topic. I fell into this myself because I learned from my school of thought that, hey, avoid arguments, right? From my own mentors, right? But then when I started to try to avoid argument, I was dismissive about it, meaning I would just be like, babe, I don't want to talk about that, right? Now I've left another impact on her. Now that's the next level of lesson that I needed to learn. So when you're being dismissive, this is not his wife. I'm just saying, this is a good example, right? If you're being dismissive in the name of all I said, avoid arguments, you're still going to fail because you're leaving that impact on her. You're making her feel less than. You make people feel less than, they resent you. Now, if this is not a person that you care about, you're not in a relationship with them, no, you're right. So you move on, right? But if this is a person in your life in one shape, form, or the other, they are going to multiply that impact you left on them. Especially if we're talking about a woman, she will multiply that feelings for you, because that's just what she does. That's what the feminine energy does. It multiplies, right? Biologically, socially speaking, right? And the way it's going to multiply is going to reciprocate back at you, and you're still not going to have a good time with that relationship. So you can't afford to be dismissive the way this gentleman just did right here. But let's see the results. Again, I like to reverse engineer these things from a result standpoint. I don't like to just speak. I like to show examples you see, and you can relate back to your life. You see these examples over and over, and hopefully you can act accordingly and just learn how to move when it comes to your interaction with women. Let's keep going.
Had a medical report
I want you to hear that
on the course of
dismissive,
Getting
that
opinions.
that passive aggressive dismissal, real quick.
so that's one of the points I'm trying to make. Allow people to express themselves. So I'm done with that. Now the second thing I'm trying to say is this: we have not.
Did you see that chuckle, right? That she just did right there. Do you know what that means? I'm about to roast the shit out of this guy right here. Right? He said, let people express their. Now, if you're having a conversation with a person, isn't it best to at least get what they have to say about what you're talking about before you move on? Or if you're in such a rush to say what you have to say, maybe you shouldn't be saying what you're about to say. Well, if you're about to sow some kind of great, let's see, some kind of seed that you want to sow, right? Wouldn't you want to make sure that it's properly done? Right? So that you can come back in due season and it's germinated into whatever results you're looking for. But when you engage people and you don't even care about the results, right? What's the point, right? Well, guess what? Either you realize it or not, you're still sowing a seed, and there will be consequences. See, you can avoid reality all you want, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality.
We have not actually had a medical report on the cause of death. And so all kinds of summaries have been drawn here, right? It's wrong. Nobody has the fact.
So again, a woman just got deleted. Her life just got deleted. And we have men. This is my problem right here. Not my problem. It's not that deep for me. Everyone will get their own consequences, right? But you know what I mean, right? You have a man comes on the stage and say, hey, stop generalizing. It's such a terrible thing when people are having a general conversation. You see, I understand when women say, I do. I give women that pass all day long because of socialization. It is what it is. I don't argue with it. But when you have men come on a stage like this and say, hey, stop generalizing. What was the nature of the conversation they were having? They were saying, it's time to stop. We need to stop this abuse situation where no one can speak up for women and the most vulnerable in society, women and children. And then you have a man go on that stage and say, hey, we don't have facts. We don't have this. That's lack of emotional intelligence. If they don't have facts, all you have to do is disengage from the conversation. There's something called activism. You don't go in the middle of people that's basically in the middle of an activism movement, right? They're making noise about some kind of pain for their own group of people, right? And then you go and say, hey, give me all your facts. It doesn't make any sense. It's lack of emotional intelligence. They're making noise, and yes, they'll be making noise in absolutes. They'll be generalizing. Yes, it's going to come off like they're saying everyone is doing it. It's going to come off that way. If it comes off that way, why not exit through the left, right? Because again, it's YouTube. It's not that deep. In fact, the topic is so deep, what you're about to say is not that deep. They're talking about someone's life got deleted. So it's a sad situation. I think this kind of comment is the reason why this kind of event perpetuates itself. If enough people are making noise about DV, right? Domestic, you know what I mean? Violence, right? If more noise are being made about it, people will understand that there's consequences. People will basically work on themselves. Now, a couple of things I want to say about abuse. And I say this respectfully. If you're experiencing this in a relationship of any type, run first. You need to run first. There's no need for nuances. There's no need for but. We have people say, hey, why don't you go straight to your father's house first? But don't throw the marriage away. Like, dude, do you realize that most people are in this situation because they already know they don't want to throw a marriage away? They already know that. If they didn't feel that way in the first place, they wouldn't be in that situation. But you have some people hold on to the ideology of marriage so hard that they're willing to allow people to have their life deleted before they give an absolute. When it comes to physical abuse, it's an absolute. Okay? It's not an absolute in the future. We're talking about the now. No one is worried about divorce. You're busy, you're so busy defending marriage that you forgot that no one is even discussing divorce yet. So stop being so defensive about divorce. God hates divorce. Everyone that goes through divorce hates divorce. Do you not realize that most people hate divorce? If anyone is saying anything against marriage, like things like marriage is not a badge of honor, that's a person that hates divorce.